alive and kicking, and we appreciate all of the support that we have received from everyone.
It's the love that is spread so far throughout this country for our family.
People knew the things that they did for people on a day-to-day basis, and I mean, they're the two most giving people I think I've ever met in my entire life, and to see kind of what they've taught us growing up and how to treat people and to do the right thing even when it's hard.
Every Thursday, the Chrisley Knows Best family gives fans a peek into their family lives on the USA Network. However, Julie and Todd Chrisley are facing jail time and house arrest awaiting their sentencing. We'll talk about Julie Chrisley and the Chrisleys' jail time and punishment today. In order to learn everything, be sure to watch the video through to the very end. Hey everyone, welcome back to Topish. We have some exciting stories that are full of lip-smacking delicacies, so make sure to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. With that being said, let's begin. Todd and Julie Chrisley's trials began in May 2022, more than 2 years after they were accused, with many counts of bank and wire fraud, tax evasion, and conspiracy. Todd, 53, and Julie, 49, appeared in an Atlanta court on May 17th for opening comments, during which Assistant U.S. Attorney Annalise Peters stated that the couple inflated their incomes to banks in order to borrow more than $30 million. They make up paperwork and lie through their teeth to obtain whatever they want, whenever they want, Peters stated in court, saying that they hid monies from the IRS, according to insiders. In response, the attorney for the USA Stars said that Mark Braddock, a former employee of Todd and Julie, had committed the crimes behind the couple's back after being let go in 2012. Braddock had assumed Todd's identity. Braddock was referred to as a fraudster by Peters when she addressed the jury, but she asserted that Todd and Julie's alleged deception persisted after he was fired. All along, the intention was to hide the money, Peter claims, adding that Todd, Julie, and Braddock selected small banks and engaged in scrapbooking, or the copying and pasting of portions of financial records. In 2019, the couple's accusers were refuted by Todd, who has been married to Julie since 1996. It all began back in 2012 when we learned that a dependable employee of ours has been seriously stealing from us. I won't go into details, but it entailed a lot of pretty awful things like fabricating paperwork, forging our signatures, and threatening to use physical force against other workers if they spoke up. He unlawfully bugged our home, which we even found out about, he wrote on Instagram. To get revenge, we presented the U.S. Attorney's Office with a number of his fictitious documents and claimed that he had engaged in numerous financial crimes, including tax evasion and bank fraud. They were really interested in what we said, but after we had a chance to explain who he was and what he had done to us, they recognized it was all nonsense and sent him on his way. At the time, Todd claimed that the former employee had convinced a different set of detectives at the U.S. Attorney's Office not openly to reopen the case, but also to offer him immunity from the prosecution for his own crimes and filed charges against us. Then he said, "I'm telling you all this because we have nothing to hide and nothing to be embarrassed of. We have a ton of concrete proof, as well as other confirming eyewitnesses that not only confirms our knowledge of our innocence, but also our innocence." What are Todd and Julie accused of? With regard to the 5 charges of bank fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to conduct bank fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States, and 1 count of tax fraud, Todd and Julie were charged. According to the Tennessean, Julie is also accused with 1 count of wire fraud and 1 count of obstructing justice. She's been charged with fabricating phony bank records and fictitious credit reports in order to rent a house. The couple's accountant, Peter Tarantino, is also on trial as he was charged with 2 counts of knowingly filing false tax returns and 1 count of conspiracy to cheat the government. Tarantino, Todd, and Julie have all entered a not guilty plea. Mark Braddock, and who is he? Insiders claim that Braddock testified in court that he became acquainted with Todd in early 2000s after meeting him at their respective children's schools. Until 2012, he was employed by Todd's foreclosure management companies. Braddock stated that he generated phony Microsoft Word documents to lie about Todd and Julie's income in order to make them appear wealthier so that they could allegedly obtain loans. The government granted Braddock immunity in exchange for his assistance. Morris, the attorney representing the Chrisleys, asserted that Braddock was obsessed with Todd and contacted the FBI on their behalf, both for defense and retaliation. Additionally, he said Braddock had stolen from the married couple Todd and Julie Chrisley. Todd and Julie, according to Braddock, were spending more money than they were bringing in, including hiring 3 housekeepers, purchasing a luxury vehicle, and paying Todd's airfare from Atlanta to California for bi-monthly hair appointments at the Beverly Hills Hotel. According to Braddock, who said that the two were handed at least $60 million in loans, he required $500,000 to $600,000 a month just to stay even. The TV star's attorney hinted that the show wasn't entirely true when asked about Todd's assertions that he spends $300,000 a year on clothing, which he made on Chrisley Knows Best. Braddock said in court that Todd spent $38,000 in cash for an unidentified blackmailer who sent texts to Todd and Braddock threatening to reveal their purported affair and dishonest conduct. In the past, Todd Chrisley's eldest daughter has referred to him as a monster and said that he and his brother Chase Chrisley had threatened to make public purported sex tapes of her. She asserted there was no sex tape and that Todd had not attempted to blackmail her in court, according to Insider. The court reportedly reprimanded her for not taking the prosecutor's questions seriously as well. Morris continued to criticize Braddock in his closing. The Chrisleys' attorney stated on June 2nd that Mark Braddock is the perfect picture of reasonable doubt, calling the allegations of an affair fantasy. In addition, the attorney disputed claims made by the government regarding supposed emails between the couple and Braddock ordering their former employee to alter their bank accounts. The emails Mark Braddock provided would have been created by AOL if they actually existed, according to Braddock. The jury then started to deliberate. And what was the financial decision? Well, on June 7th, the jury rendered a verdict finding the couple responsible for all charges. According to a statement from their lawyer, the twosome was disappointed in the verdict and had previously planned to appeal. A sentencing date was set for a later time. On October 6, 2022, the couple was due to be sentenced. Todd and Julie received a 30-day extension to file for acquittal a few weeks after the June 7th verdict, and 3 additional attorneys joined their team. In documents submitted on June 14th, the pair stated that the delay was essential to review court transcripts and adequately prepare their argument. The Chrisley family and Peter submitted a motion in September 2022 requesting that the court postpone their October 6th sentence date until November 21st or later. In their tax fraud case, a deferral and punishment has been granted. According to a new legal document received, the Chrisley Knows Best actors will now be sentenced in an Atlanta courthouse on November 21st. This change follows Todd and Julie's application for a new trial and acquittal in August, which they submitted under the justification that their previous trial was fundamentally unfair. Todd and Julie claimed in one court document that an IRS revenue officer lied when she testified that the Chrisleys owed taxes when she realized no taxes were due. These statements, according to their argument, falsely painted the Chrisleys as untruthful, likely to commit additional forms of fraud, and dodging the tax payments specified in the indictment, they argued. Following their convictions on numerous counts of bank fraud and tax evasion, Todd and Julie Chrisley have released statements in public for the first time. I understand that all of you want to know every little thing that is happening in our lives, but I must ask that you respect the fact that we aren't currently allowed to discuss it. In one of their podcasts, Chrisley Confessions, host Todd Chrisley predicted that there will come a time when everything would be discussed. In a later statement, he said, "We did want to come on today and let everyone know that it's a really terrible, heartbreaking time for our family right now. However, we remain consistent in our faith and have confidence in God's ability to do miracles." In addition to being found guilty of many tax offenses, the reality star pair behind the USA Network's Chrisley Knows Best was also found guilty of wire fraud and obstruction of justice against Julie Chrisley. That ends today's video. Please leave a comment below to let us know what you think will happen next with the Chrisleys. Like and share this video to stay up to date with their progress, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Topish keeps you up to date on all the latest Hollywood celebrity news, drama, and gossip. Subscribe to our channel and check back for new videos and updates, and we'll see ya in the next video.